Okay, so here I am at the side of the pool, and I have a lot of old tractor tires and some 18-wheeler tires that one wall has been cut out of. They're filled up with garden soil mixed with a lot of sand, creek sand, and a lot of well-cured compost. I have several different seeds or plants growing in these different, or that have been planted in these different, what I call raised beds. You see here next to the pond, this is, you can see that the water table of the pond is quite high, and the area where the tires are sitting is kind of low because it's been dug out with a backhoe and it's been filled in with some topsoil and compost, but it's really a drainage area. It's kind of like a bog. And so what the ultimate idea is that at some point it's going to start wicking moisture up from below over time, and I won't have to water it so much. What I have done is put down cardboard on top of the dirt, on top of the soil, and that acts as a weed barrier. It's also a place where a lot of earthworms and things like that can grow and thrive. And then on top of the cardboard is sawdust, and the sawdust helps to keep everything packed down, and also is good about holding in the moisture that's down below. There's no sawdust under the tires, just cardboard. And so over time, cardboard's going to rot, and earthworms and so forth can travel up into the tires. I haven't got I've got some sawdust in this area here between the tires, but you can see I don't have it everywhere yet. But it will be, and it's going to be fixed up better around the tires at some point. This is a work in progress, and I'm going to show you a little bit about what I'm doing as far as how I'm planting. This far tire here in the corner is planted with a lot of parsnips. And the next one to that has a lot of carrots, some different varieties also. And the next one has some rutabagas, and the far one over here has got beets in it. And the next one to it, which is a little bit hard to see because it's behind those water containers, that's got beets in it, no, turnips in it. And then this one here has some lettuce and a couple of other things. I think over here in this corner, this smaller tire has some radishes, a couple different varieties of radishes. And you can see here, I haven't planted this yet, but you can see what I've done. I've taken a stick and made these rows here in the top of this soil, and I'll be planting the seeds and then putting some water in that little trough with a sprayer to dampen the seeds, and I'll be covering over the seeds with the soil and then watering the top of it again. So that's kind of what I'm doing, and showing you the process so that maybe if you want to replicate it or learn from it, you can. What I like about tires is you can use them in this way, and they're really good about holding the soil and lasting a long time. And it's not like you're having to make a raised bed using treated lumber and all that business. Tires don't release toxins and so forth into the soil. They don't create a problem for you as far as growing food and so forth. So this is really a good way to grow things, and something I really like. We'll see what happens. I'll be showing you progress updates as time goes on. Okay, thank you. So what I have here that I'm getting ready to plant is some giant Swiss chard. And so that's going to be an interesting thing to see come up. And so all I'm doing is just spreading it around kind of thick around the sides in this row. The next thing I've got is some Siberian kale. And somebody gave me a bunch of seeds, so I'm getting rid of some things, but Siberian kale, that sounds like a cold weather crop, so we're going to see what we can do with that. The next thing I'm going to do is use a sprayer and spray water down on top of these seeds in the row. That way I know that they're going to stay basically in that same spot, and it gets them nice and wet and dampens the soil right around it. And then I can put the dirt that's around it back over the top of those seeds and then let them germinate. I just use this sprayer, and it's water that comes out of this little pond. There's some fish in there and other things, so it's going to be pretty good for these seeds and these plants. So now you can see what I've done with that, and I'll be taking and smoothing that all over and covering those seeds, and then I'll put some more water on top of that, probably about a full container, watering container. I'll just kind of sprinkle that on top of the ground once I've got those seeds covered. So here we are now, adding water to the top, and I just kind of sprinkle it on like this, and kind of like what raindrops would do. That's going to allow those seeds to soak real good and germinate, and we'll see what happens, if those seeds are any good or not. Okay, so it's a few days since the planting, and already you can see things are coming up. Kale and collards, and some lettuces and those kind of things. Some lettuce over here. I believe there's rutabagas and some beets in here. And this is turnips.